Borussia Dortmund, a club built on passion, history and the relentless pursuit of greatness. But right now, they're struggling, sitting in 8th place in the Bundesliga, failing to win their last 3 games. It's clear something needs to change. But today we're not just going to turn things around, we're going to rebuild them, the ultimate football resurrection. But here's the twist, we can only use youth. No player over the age of 21 allowed, whether from the academy or transfers. Every signing, every player is all about the future of this German club. The mission? 2 things, to win the Bundesliga and the ultimate prize, the Champions League. Let's get started. So then, this is going to be Borussia Dortmund in the game. Now, we have had a whole makeover in terms of FM. New badges, new skin, new everything. Hopefully you enjoy that side of things. But we've played a season with them, as you can see. But I will say, as a team, they've got a lot going for them. A great reputation, great training, great youth facilities, immaculate youth recruitment. And we're in the process of a board takeover, meaning we are probably going to get a fair bit of money coming our way quite shortly. Now, what I will say is the first season we did have in the Bundesliga, we do finish inside a 2nd place. We're not going to spend too much time really analysing what happened. You can see Ademi is going to be your top goal scorer, and Jan Kuto is going to be the most assists for Borussia Dortmund in that season. The Champions League, we are going to lose in the quarterfinals against Real Madrid, and that was an absolute spanking 5-1. So we are going to try and improve in that competition so we don't get humiliated like that ever again. Now, the DFB Pokal is going to be a semi-final exit, and very similar to what we discussed, another absolute humiliating result where we would have gone over and of course played RB Leipzig in the final if we would have beaten Bayer Leverkusen, who I do think maybe we could have beaten on the day, although they are your Bundesliga winners. Now, the tactic I'm going to deploy is going to be my new Meta 4-3-3. You can find that over on the main channel, which is now back in full flow to clarify. And one thing that I will say about this tactic is it offers a lot. It really does, especially in the attacking side. So what's really great about this tactic is we can factor in and fit in a lot of these young players. Now, some of the young players that I want to talk about personally is of course going to be this front 3. Now, even the likes of Ademi, he is 23 but of course has been with us by the time he is 21, so he can actually play in this team for the entire rebuild. He come in and actually had a great season. I mean, 27 goals, 12 assists, he enjoyed a great time. You can also look at the likes of Duranville. You can see here, he picked up 13 goals, which is absolutely remarkable. Gittens coming in there with 20 as well, and 35 from Ademi across all competitions. But the young players, obviously, Gittens is going to be one of the main men we're going to talk about. Quick on the ball, fantastic at dribbling, just the composure and the finishing need a little bit of work. Duranville, again, an absolute blessing on the right-hand side. Quick, very good at dribbling, again, very similar to Gittens in the fact that the finishing needs a little bit of work. But other than that, loads of other star players. I mean, Mane at the back's another great player, 20 years of age, the Italian, tons of potential when it comes to him at the centre-back role. You've also got the likes of Eining at left back. Again, he's only 21, a Dutch fullback, been here for quite a fair few years now. He's quick, got decent tackling, good dribbling, good crossing, also very young. Nemeka, Reina, and of course, loads of other players on the bench. Now, speaking of young players, let's not forget about Makoko, who is going to come back to us after this loan spell, who will be able to be used as well. He can be an absolute baller. If you know, you know. There's also a wide variety of players that we can't use going forward that are going to be on the transfer list from this message. So they're on the transfer list from this season. Sabitzer will be one of them. Of course, Schlotterbeck, Cabell will also be players. Sul, Emre Can. Now, obviously, you've got even Julian Brandt will be on there. Marlon Garassi. Now, these sorts of players I don't want to let go on the free, but they have to leave at some point. So if we can't get money for them, I will let them go on the free so this youth-only theme can come in quicker and be more realistic. So hopefully you do understand that back home. But realistically, our first season was somewhat impressive. Obviously, a 2nd place finish in the Bundesliga. These 2 cups weren't the best, but it's an entry season. It is what it is. We have got a budget to go into our first real transfer window of £83 million, and that is before the board have taken over. So we might even get more money. Now, in terms of the squad view, we're going to quickly analyse some of the players that can obviously leave at some point, and the real conversation point is going to be filtering by the age. So Maya, Pascal Gross, Gobble, Emre Can, Sabitzer, Haller, Julian Brandt, Sul, Garassi, Anton Cabell, Ozcan, Marlon, Schlotterbeck. These players are all going to be up for bids, so we are going to generate a lot of money into the club. So let's get into Season 2, offload some older players, hopefully bring in some younger players, and don't worry, every season I'm looking at my dev center and the younger teams and I'm promoting where I can. So a player that automatically got signed by the board after his sort of loan spell is going to be Yan Kuto. Now he is obviously 24, so I don't plan to have him here forever, but for now it's one of the areas we don't have a really good young player to play in, so he can play for one season if we don't manage to sign someone. But that's not ideal, but it was a pre-agreed sign-in. I couldn't do anything about it, but he comes in, he is fantastic, but of course, he is way above the age of the rule limit, so he is not going to be given much game time. A player that can is going to be Harrison Murray Campbell. He's going to come in from Chelsea, comes in for 7 million, doesn't play too many games or a game to be honest with you. Again, a player that is purely for the future and will be moved to the under-21s when obviously, hopefully, he can pick up some experience, pick up some game time and get to his absolute best, because there is a player in there, but at the moment, it's not quite ready. Are also going to pick up Asan. He's going to come in from RB Leipzig. Good to sign from another German team. He's only 20 years of age. He comes in for 18 million and plays a ton of games, scores 8 goals, 5 assists, and drops a 7 average match rating. And I will say he was locked into a position, so that is why he plays a lot of games and brought out of the team when we are playing week cup games. So he stayed fit, played a lot of games in Germany, and you know what? He's a fantastic player for the future. What a player. And lastly, we are going to pick up Zeno de Bast. He comes in from Sporting. He was 21 at the time, so don't worry, we are not breaking rules. He plays a load of games and drops again close to that 7 average match rating, and very similar to the previous player, he gets locked into the team. Give him game time, get a confidence going, get him used to the Bundesliga. He's never played here. He needs to learn how this league works. It's intense, it's fast-paced, he needs to learn it very quickly. So that is going to complete all of our signings. Unfortunately, we've not got too many players apart from a couple players here that we did actually manage to move on. Now, the players that we do want to offload are on the transfer list, and if they don't get sold, they will leave on the free. It's not an ideal situation, but I do not want this video to have the likes of, you know, Schlotterbeck all the way through to the last season. If they have to go on the free, they have to go. This is about young players and showing what you can do with youth players in this game and building a foundation based off just young talent. You can do it. And as you can see, sometimes it does pay off, you know, locking in some younger players. We are now going to be your Bundesliga champions inside of Season 2. One of the objectives ticked off. And what I will say is, it's not flawless. 6 draws, 3 losses. Makoko is going to be your top goal scorer and your 3rd best average rating. Player of the matches also is going to go in our favour. Joint there with Leroy Sané is going to be Yan Kuto. Now, I'm going to show you the team that I locked in right away so we can discuss it. This is going to be the team. So Makoko was locked in and he returned 36 goals and also 6 assists, which is absolutely remarkable. We also locked in Reina, obviously this lad here, and this player who we did promote from within. Now, this is a treat for us because he's 16 years of age and he has got tons of potential. Look at him now. The mental attributes are absolutely through the roof. So buzzing to see him. Really buzzing to get him actually in the team. Reina also done very, very well. 19 and 13, 15 and 9 coming in there from Assam. Though I will say, at the moment, Yan is our youngest right back, so he was locked in for that reason and that reason only. 17 assists, 14 coming in for Ening at left back, and even the likes of Mane picks up 3 goals, with Zabas picking up 2. It's a very, very good performance. Now, going down to the bench, we can also see some players that did get heavily involved. Unfortunately, Donny Marlon got some goals in there, 10 goals and 20 assists. That will happen. Ademi comes in, 6 and 7, not too bad. Garassi, 8 and 1. Eventually, these older players are going to get offloaded, so don't worry about it. They are going to leave, but for now, we're playing the youngest players that we can, and we're doing well. Now, it's not as bad despite losing 5-3. We are going to progress one stage in the Champions League and get knocked out in that Champions League semi-final, where, to be fair, we could have had a shot at winning it if we got to the final. But I will say it's an improvement, and considering the league improvement, I will take it. The Pokal we are going to watch and never discuss again, because we have lost to a team in Heidenheim who are 18th in the Bundesliga. That is a disgrace. And I mean, apart from the Bundesliga, which obviously is a massive, massive attraction, it wasn't exactly a season we set light to the world in. It's okay, not perfect. So one trophy already has going to be, or is going to be won with the young players. And budget-wise, we've got £83 million again. So very fair when it comes to the spends. We can go go in and sign more young players, of course. We are also going to go and look at the young players that we've got from the development centre, the under-19s, the B team, etc, etc. But the main focus is still getting some of these older players out the team. I mean, 35, 34, 32, 31, 31, 31, 30, 30, 30. These players here are the key people that have got to go. I'm going to do everything I can to release them. If you are watching this right now, leave a comment below. In Youth-Only Rebuilds, would I be allowed, for the enjoyment of the video, to use the editor to release them? I don't do it because I don't want to annoy anyone. But if you think it makes the videos better, let me know. And be sure to leave a like as well. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Now let's go over and get into the next transfer window and hopefully offload some of these players. The one player we have offloaded is a 35-year-old. It is going to be Pascal Gross. Now, I actually quite liked him in the Premier League, to be honest, so no disrespect to him. He goes to Bayer Leverkusen and still does very well. So he's always a player that doesn't really stand out, but he can put a shift in. It's actually quite sad to see him go. Signing one is going to be Yorfi Makio. He is going to come from AA Ghent. He comes in and plays 34 games, and as you can see, he sent me back 17 million. Now, he is here for one reason. Potential and potential only. He's got a ton of it. He's 18 years of age and already has attributes upwards in the Blues. So I mean, he is a player that can grow. Is he going to be a standout centre-back for years and years? That I don't know. But for that price tag and his passion, he can come in. Player that you can't question is going to be Miles Lewis-Skelly. He comes in from Peterborough and as you can see, plays very limited games because he didn't really get into the first team right off the bat. For 42 million, this is a player that is definitely going to be one for the future. 20 years of age, if you watch English football, you know how good this guy actually is. And again, similar to the previous player, a load of good attributes in the high Blues already, and just a midfielder that can really do it all. Next up, a young goalkeeper, which obviously we do need at some point, is going to be Diego Kalali. Now, I will say the downside to this is he comes in and doesn't play a single game, which is a reason I should have locked him in, really, because of course Cabell still gets in because he won't leave the club. Now, this is a goalkeeper that will hopefully turn into a decent level goalkeeper, but it was more the fact of just bringing in a younger goalkeeper because we didn't really have a young one and it was a position that we needed to fill in. So next season, he will be locked in. And a player that, if you've watched me play with Salzburg on the live streams, Stefan Bajatek is going to come in from the likes of, I can't even say that, so I'm going to say Salzburg. He comes in and plays 9 games. He costs me a ton of money, so hopefully he gets more and more game time as time does go on. And he drops a 6.97, so it's okay, but nothing exactly remarkable. Now, that is going to be it in terms of the transfer window. Again, we failed to get out hardly any players again. It's so hard to sell these old players, especially when they're not getting the game time because I'm locking in younger players. So I think going forwards we might use the editor to instantly release these players, but do let me know what you think. Now, in terms of the team, I did lock in these select players. So Cabell was actually locked in, so that is my fault from last season. Kuto, DeBast, Aining, Mokio, again, a player we've not even talked about. This lad here, we talked about briefly, sorry, over again. He was locked in, which explains why he did play a lot of games, and I feel like it did help. He also picked up 4 goals, so fair play to him there. Kuto, again, is still our youngest right back with 19 assists. 30 assists here, by the way, for Aining, which is absolutely incredible. This lad here, Assad in midfield, 19 and 10, and Makoko still doing very well. 30 and 7 coming in from him. In terms of the rest of the team, 16 and 13 from Sabitzer. He's got to go. Nameka, I think, can actually stay because he's been here for a fair few seasons. And no, actually, no, he can't. That is very borderline. He might have to go as well. He enjoyed a great season, though, to be fair to him. 16 and 7, 17 and 22 for Julian Blunt, and a Demi who can stay, 14 and 14 with Garassi contributing 16 goals as well. So still some players that do have to leave, and if we go over, you can still see we have lost a couple of the 35-year-olds, but really now we're looking to offload Sabitzer, Rami, Brunt, Sul, Garassi, Waldemar, Kobel, Ozcan, Ryerson, Schlotterbeck. If we can offload the 27 upwards, that's the main aim at the moment, and slowly we are getting there. We have finally won a trophy. It's the Friendly Cup. I mean, I say finally, we did win the Bundesliga, but I mean, yeah, the Friendly Cup. Liga, we also do win. You probably saw it in the tactics screen. If you did, good eyesight on you. I do respect it. We did win it, and this time it was very close, but the goal difference wasn't close. So we definitely deserved to win it. But as you can see, Harry Kane, top of the goal scorers this time. Average rating, we've got 2 of our own players in there. Assists, we've got 3 players in there. And clean sheets, Cabell is going to dominate. So we do need to offload him because it's a little bit of an unfair advantage. But also, there is a realistic side. There is no football club in the world, when they try and build up youth players, they don't release all their older players. But for entertainment purposes, I will do it if you demand it. But I mean, overall, we are slowly turning this team around from an older team to a younger team. The question is, have we won anything else? Well, the Champions League, we fall back quite a fair bit. The round of 16 now, we are going to lose to Liverpool, and that was done by 3 goals. The Pokal, we are going to get all the way to the final and unfortunately lose to Bayer Leverkusen 2-1. And call us the bottle jobs because we also lose the German Super Cup 2-1, this time to FC Bayern, meaning this season is going to be 2 trophies where it could have been a hopeful and promising 4, but we're down to 2. So we will take it. It still is going to be progression, but still a long way to go with this team. Now, going into that next season, we have got serious cash flow. We've got 113 million. Now, of course, I'm always looking for young players in my academy, but we are going to go and spend and bring in some pretty exciting young players. And also that budget might get bumped up a little bit because these players that we've got to offload, 54 million for Julian Blunt potentially, still 24 to 32. There's money in this team that has to be offloaded. We might have about a 200 mil transfer window. Let's go and have some fun. So we have got rid of another older player. It is going to be Rami. He is going to be going the left back to Arsenal on the free, where it seems he's taken up a bit of a backup role. It's not a bad move for him. And also we do offload Anton, another 30-plus-year-old player. He goes to Damak in the Saudi League. How much is he on a week? Not too much, to be fair, for the Saudi League. He's a decent player, but again, look at the age. It can't run. Signing one, and it is going to be the end of Couto being in the first team. It is going to be Sergio. Simply Sergio. Comes in from Real Madrid for a crap ton of money, £30 million, but he does contribute with 18 assists and 2 goals in his first season, and he played a big part in how good we were at the back. This man here, he's an absolute baller. We're also going to pick up Anafire, I believe so you say that. They come in from Willem, comes in for 9.5 million, plays 34 games, and I will say is locked in that centre-back role because look at the physical stats, look at the mental stats, and look at the technical. 18 years of age, Dutch, I'm telling you, it's a Van Dijk regen. What a baller. We're also going to bring in Carl, another centre-back, come DM, come left-back, credibly versatile, a leading Bundesliga player at the age of 20. We forked out 4.9 million. He played a load of games as well. And if you, again, you look at the stats, if you are going to carry on this rebuild, which you can find in the Patreon, you're going to have one of the best young teams I've probably ever made. A better young goalkeeper because we're noticing that Cabell's contract is coming up and probably is going to leave on the free. Dennis Seaman is going to come in where he did only play 1 game, so obviously a lot of goalkeeper competition, but for a keeper to replace Cabell, you're not going to find much better. And lastly, we are going to pick up Adriano. He comes in from Tottenham, 21 years of age, 14 goals, 6 assists in that first season, and I mean, in terms of a player, you're not going to get much more of a sort of well-built player for that attack and role. He's got good passing, he's got good first touch, good dribbling, good composure, good flair, good everything, to be honest. Just overall, a serious player. And that resulted in another Bundesliga win. We're sort of liking this now, aren't we? We're winning a lot of Bundesliga titles, and it is unfortunately going to be Guirassy who is going to be in there. I didn't lock in a striker because now we've got so many young players, and what's happened is Guirassy's got in over them, so hopefully he leaves for this last season, and by the end of this project, I can give you a team that has all of the old players gone. That would be dreamland, wouldn't it, really? But as you can also see, player of the match-wise, we do have Guirassy and Sergio in there. Sergio, the average rating in 2nd place, and overall assist-wise, Sergio is going to dominate the rankings. So this Sergio guy, this guy here, yeah, he is a star. And this is going to be us in the Champions League final where, as you can see, they got a little bit messed up. Meaning we have won the Champions League, and let's go and see what we've done through this journey. Who did we beat? The semi-finals, we actually beat Man City 6-2 over 2 legs. A big result for us there. The quarterfinals, we beat Bayern by 1 goal. That was a very close one. The round of 16, a 4-0 over Tottenham over 2 legs. It's a very well-deserved trophy. The Champions League ticked off. The Bundesliga ticked off. But you know we chase perfection on this channel. We're going for the quadruple. which might be on because we have won the Pokal 3-1 over Bochum. Now the question is, if we have won this Super Cup, the video's done. And we haven't. The German Super Cup, we are going to lose on penalties to Bayer Leverkusen. This close to completing the video in 4 seasons. But overall, what a season. The Bundesliga, the Champions League, the Pokal. Yes, Guirassy was heavily involved in this season. But just as it would be in real life, you can't magically offload all the old players. Obviously, that is where the editor does come in, which is purely down to you. I want this channel to be what you want it to be. So make sure you do leave a comment. I will keep mentioning it because I want to see what you want to see. Now, going over to the tactics page, this is exactly what I locked in. So this explains a lot. Sergio, 25 assists. We've also got 15 assists coming in there from Kolo, who I will say is a very, very progressive centre-back. 1 assist there coming in from his partner at the back. 11 goals, by the way. 18 assists there coming in from Aining at left-back. 23 and 13 coming in here for, I tell you what, let's just give this guy some praise. Adriano comes in and instantly just takes the game to everybody. It's absolutely incredible. I believe that is Asan. Asan again, a little bit of a drop-off season. 5 and 6, 12 and 10 for Gittens, Duranville 10 and 13. On the bench, any younger players? Jan Couto, bit on the older side now, obviously now back up. Other than that, Ademi 18 and 3. Again, we'll drag him up here so you can see that. He is a player. How's Makoko doing? 1 goal, so I mean, Ademi still was competitive, of course, a player that can be included in this project. But overall, we are building a young team, and with 1 more season, depending on the budget, and how many players actually leave, we might be able to have a real big charge of a young team in this last season. Now, in terms of the squad, of course, there are players in here that we still want to leave. We have done well over the last season, offloading a few of the older ones. If you literally go back a little bit in the video, we had so many more players that were 35, 34s. Now we're down to the 32s and we are clearing them out. Now, in terms of contracts, you can see here, expiry-wise, we have got a lot coming up. So, few people might be leaving. In fact, probably will be leaving. And we have got a budget of 116 million to go and spend in the last season to improve that, bring in younger players, look at what younger players we have, and hopefully build on it. So let's get into the final season, season 5, and try and pull off this quadruple. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again, at any point in this video, if you are interested in getting the tactic or the rebuild file, you know where to go. The Patreon is going to be in the link below. Let's go and make it happen. Right, signing one that's going out is going to be Julian Reinson. He is going to be going to the Saudi League, where he absolutely cooks, to be fair, but it is the Saudi League. Do you know what? Nothing against him. He's just a bit too old for the video. I feel a lot of people will be happy to see this. Guirassy finally does leave. He is going to be leaving to Barcelona on the free, where that form just remains untouched. He's an absolute monster. Strong, finishing, quick. He's the complete package, but he's 33. Now, I couldn't actually let Sul go on the free because he didn't want to go on the free, so I done what I could. I loaned him out. He didn't play a single game for us, so hopefully it makes this last season a bit more realistic for what we have got. He does get a lot of game time at Gladbach, but at least it wasn't for us. It's the best I could do. We're also going to be selling Somalia Koulibaly. He's going to be going to Werder Bremen, one of the younger players, but still above the age limit. He's happily going to leave, and do you know what? Fair play to him. Signing one is going to be Mark Bernal. If you don't know him, get to know him. He's an absolute baller from Barcelona. When we signed him, he was 21, so don't you worry about that one. He comes in for 25 million, plays 29 games, and picks up a 6.88 average rating. And just overall, as a player, he reminds me of someone like Skelly, but in a bit of a deeper role. He's got so much potential. You've got a player here for like 10 years. Honestly, such a team we are building here. We're also going to pick up Matthias, another midfield option, because we are playing 3 midfielders. We need rotation. He comes in for 18 million and actually doesn't play a single game. A player that is purely brought in because he was available and one for the future. So not to worry, next season you could always lock him in or give him some games in the under-21s. A player who, again, I had to sign because he looked like one of the better young midfielders is going to be Mark Hilbert. He comes in and plays a lot of games because he was locked in, and this guy is literally the complete package. For a deep player, he is what you want. He's 19, German, perfect for registration, perfect for everything. Just a really well-rounded player, a wonder kid by media description as well. When you pick up younger players, this is a player you want to see. And lastly, just to prove it, the last signing of the rebuild is going to be Murat Talas. He is going to be a backup right back, of course, for Sergio. And I will say, at some point, maybe a competitor, because he looks very, very good. He comes in for a total of 9 million. He doesn't play a game because, of course, Sergio's there and Couto's unfortunately there as well. But this player, well, yeah, he's not to be laughed at. He's definitely one for the future. Sign off in style to start with another Bundesliga win. As you can see, 31 wins, 2 draws, and the 1 loss. Ademi is going to be your top goal scorer. We've got 3 players in the average rating in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We've got Diego Kalali, who's actually not the keeper I thought was going to play, is going to be 2nd most clean sheets in the Bundesliga. Ademi, most player of the matches. A real well put together season. And I will say, the team we locked in looks like this. So, Cabell was actually... Oh, no, it wasn't locked in, sorry. Take it back. This is the best 11. I've gone and put in the best 11. So this is what the game thinks the best 11 actually is. So, unfortunately, we've still got players here like Brandt, we've got Jan Couto, we've got Ozcan, Schul, Slotterbeck, and Cabell. They're the players that we really couldn't offload. But, of course, they didn't play a load of games. For example, Cabell, I don't even think he played many games at all. He played 0 games. So, just to prove we didn't play the older players, we actually had the likes of Sergio with 5 and 11. He obviously was out on loan. Schlotterbeck didn't play many at all. We've got 1 and 10 coming in there for Nkolo. Ozcan didn't play much at all there. 15 and 13 coming in from a midfield player. 3 and 3, 3 and 3, 6 and 6. 44 goals for Ademi. So this man finally got his explosive season. A player who is absolutely remarkable and been at the team for years. So really happy to see that finally. 10 and 2 coming in here for a player who, to be honest, we spent a bit of time talking about, but didn't really glamorise too much. What a player they have turned out to be. You got 13 goals here coming in for this lad, who is a player who purely was brought in from the Dortmund sort of young team, and he's come in and got some goals, so hats off to him. We've also got 1 goal and also 20 assists from this left back who has been with us since day 1 of this rebuild, so we love to be seeing that. We also have the likes of Gittens with 16 and 11, 14 and 15 for Duranville, and 13 and 5 for none other than Asan. So realistically, you have got a team here, which I will show you before we look at the other trophies, who have got some really good young players. Now, if you look here, look at some of the potentials I've left you with here. You have got a load of players, 25 and under. You have to scroll up to see them. You've been left with such a good youth team, which you can go and have fun with. And that is the main thing. The main reason I do these videos is to do the rebuild, but also to make this game fun. We've had this game out for so many days now, it feels. I want to release fun game save files. And this one, if you like Wonder Kids, it's a treat. In terms of the German Super Cup, it actually was quite a dramatic one. We do get the first goal and actually pick up the second goal there inside of 35 minutes and make that 3 goals. But the reason why it gets dramatic is because RB Leipzig, although they might not be one of the better teams in Germany, especially this season, they do get a goal back and actually had me panicking because they make it 3-2 towards the end of the game, but luckily we hold on. Chance to lift the UEFA Super Cup now, and against Juventus, no easy team, and that's the respect you've got to show them because they go 1-0 up there before we get back into the game with a set piece from Julian Blunt, and we go on to win it 2-1 in the literal 90th minute, and it is going to be Ademi. But sadly, that is all she's going to write, because that is all the trophies we won this season, meaning we have failed the quadruple dream. The semi-finals, we are very close to getting to that Champions League final, but Real Madrid a little bit too strong on the day, and the Pokal, Bayer Leverkusen, of all teams, a little bit too strong on the day. So overall, it is going to be technically a treble to end this sort of rebuild off, and as you can see, Club Info, we've done a very, very good job in terms of the trophies. A lot more trophies being added to this cabinet, and look how nice this trophy pack is. I like the new appearance of this skin, the trophy packs, the badges. It's nice and refreshing. A little tip for you, if you are bored of FM, just change something as simple as a skin. It changes the entire appearance of your game. But overall, I feel like I've done a great job here, left you with loads of good young players, a team that is now winning trophies, and you've got a budget of 161 million to go and spend. Now, if you have enjoyed, please do leave a like and subscribe. Once again, if you want to carry on this rebuild back home, you can find all of my tactics, all of my rebuilds, all over on that Patreon in the link below. And if it's the last rebuild before Christmas, which it might be, I hope you have a great time over the festive period, and we are going to be back after Christmas, of course, to get cracking again. So leave a comment below what team you want to see back, or first back, and hopefully I'll read it in time and get Simon, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.